Good morning, morning, my workplace warriors. Happy Friday. This is an especially exciting Friday because it's the last Friday before we celebrate Christmas. And I am so excited. Hope you are too. I hope for those of you like me who live in heavy traffic areas where your commutes can get bogged down for seemingly no reason. When you're on your way to work, if you work on site, like I do some days of the week, I hope that either the best case scenario is that you're on leave, that you're taking a break already, leading up to the holiday, or maybe you're teleworking like I'll be doing. So I'm fine that I'm not on leave today. It's just good that I don't have to get into the traffic. Plus, it got cold here over the past day or so in Atlanta, and I am just cozy with my nice thick sweater on and enjoying my Friday morning. So excited to be here with you all for another Friday morning live. And today we are going to talk about a fun article. I decided to make it fun today, and it is excuse me, some workplace rules that millennials and Gen Z refuse to follow. And of course, I went to my go to MSN, Money and Careers, and it is the provider of this article. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dig in. So there are 17 of these listed. I don't know if we're going to go through all of them, but I am going to start by the dress code. You know what? Millennials and Gen Zers say no. Dress code has nothing to do with the quality of work that I produce or how professional I am, and I am not doing it. And here the article says that rigid dress codes like mandatory suits or skirts are becoming a thing of the past. And that is so true because I work in academia, as you know it. I work for the University System of Georgia, and we didn't have a an outrageously strict dress code, but because I work in the system office, which is essentially our corporate office. There were certain things that we weren't allowed to wear, and now we even see our executives more often wearing jeans. I can almost guarantee you that the few people who are not taking leave at this time, who are on site working, I can almost guarantee, including our chancellor, um, our former governor, Chancellor Sonny Perdue, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in the office today if he doesn't have on jeans, and especially since we had our work holiday party on yesterday. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are a lot of jeans walking around in the office on tomorrow. So I can definitely understand that. I've never been a big proponent of a strict um, dress code, almost feeling like I'm going to church, because I have to wear a skirt and a blouse and heels, and what have you. And because heels always hurt my feet, so I like something comfortable. So the next one is cubicle workspaces. And a lot of people, they don't like them because the number one thing is you don't have any privacy. You don't have any privacy from people passing by and just seeing your computer screen, because the overwhelming majority of people who work in cubicles seem to have their back turned to the opening, to their cubicle, and so people pass by, they see your computer screen. The other thing is you don't have any privacy for, even like during a break or at lunch or what have you, to either um, take a nap during your lunch break because you're not being um, paid during that time, or to make a personal phone call or to have a conversation. And it especially baffles me how, and it the noise carries because people's voices carry. I was on a call with someone the other day taking care of some personal business, and I could tell they work in a cubicle environment, evidently, because a couple of times the other person's voice, their colleague's voice, as they were talking on the phone to a customer, carried over. And so I hesitated because I was thinking that it was the person who I was talking to until I realized I was like, oh, that's somebody in the background, but their voice carried pretty loudly. So I can relate to that one too. Then there's the zero work life balance. Let me tell you, I am a Gen Xer. I am 57 years old, soon to be 58. I always believed in work life balance. I always tell people though that something I should have done differently or wish that I had done differently. Excuse me, got a piece of hair on my lip and it is aggravating me. Sorry about that. But something that I wish that I had done earlier in my career before I got married and had a family was to accept a human resources job where I had to travel a lot. Well, not necessarily a lot, but where I got to travel um, on the company's dime, get to see some new places, but not have to worry about the expense of it. So those of you who are still, young in your careers or don't have the responsibilities of, a family, then that might be something that you want to consider. You can see a whole lot of new places, and even some people, even after they have a family, they still have a career that requires them to travel, like my brother who travels, oh my God, every Sunday afternoon or evening or no later than like Monday morning. Pretty much he is out of here on a flight. He knows Hartsfield, Atlanta, Hartsfield, Jackson, Atlanta airport as, oh God, probably as well as he knows the Metro Atlanta area because he spends a lot of time there. And I forgot how many states he has been to and countries because he also has a military background. And he absolutely loves it. But of course, he and my sister-in-law's children are in their 20s now, so they're pretty independent. But just something to think about when it comes to that perk, traveling a lot. But we still need to have a balance, work-life balance, and it's very, very important because you don't want to get burnt out. There's more to life than work. You need that social outlet and interpersonal connections that are not work related. Next is a lack of diversity and inclusion. And we all know that, and excuse me, y'all, okay. I wanted to make sure that my son was getting up so that he can take care of our fur baby since I'm online. But he has already acknowledged my message. But let's get back to this lack of diversity and inclusion. If there is any generation that has made it very clear that they are not interested in the drama of people not respecting each other for who they are. They are the Gen Zs and the Millennials. They engage in interracial, intercultural, romantic relationships more. It doesn't matter to them for the most part who the person is. It's more about how the person treats them and how they act. And I think that that is just so great. And they're accepting and not judgmental of people who live other lifestyles, such as same-sex lifestyles and domestic partnerships. They just don't meddle in each other's business that way. And I think that those of us in the Gen X generation and before us, the baby boomers, I think we could take some lessons from that. So keep that in mind. The other thing is, and I just clicked on something that I should not have clicked on, got away from my article. Outdated technology. Now, you all know um, millennials, well, um, especially Gen Zers who were born between 1997 and 2012. Um, they were basically born, came out of the womb with some type of electronics in their hand. I often like to say. So no, they don't deal with outdated technology, and they are quick to try new types of technology to see how they can incorporate it into their everyday life. So they're not afraid of technology. Then there's rigid learning and development options, like the notion that you have to be on site to be a good learner. I think that instead of that being the requirement or or status quo for everyone across the board, it's like almost anything else. It depends on the person. Like our son, he is Gen Zer, and yeah, he's a Gen Zer, but he prefers in-person learning over um, virtual learning. And so that's why I say that it depends on the person. When COVID shut everything down back in 2020, um, everybody went to working remotely and learning remotely. And so everybody just didn't adjust to that well. Now, even though I am a Gen Xer, I enjoy working and learning remotely. I learned better. I like setting my own schedule. And just that's just me, my personality. I always say that I was born a Gen Xer, but I probably have more habits and thought processes like millennials who were born between 1981 and 1996. Then clocking in and out. Oh my God. One of the reasons why I rescinded my acceptance of the other position that I got offered around the same time that I was offered current my current position, or the position, my first position with my current employer, was because that job had a rigid schedule of having to be at work at 8 o'clock every morning. And this kind of bleeds over into, spills over into work life balance too. They had a rigid schedule starting time of 8 a.m. Well, most of the places where I had worked for years, I had to be at work no later than 8:30. So that was going to be a challenge because we also had a pretty young child, and my husband and I were splitting the responsibilities of getting our child to school or to daycare if it wasn't a school day, or what have you. And his commute is much longer than mine. And so, even though this job would have technically been closer to our home, it would have caused a big upset to my work life balance in particular. Well, to both of us, because making that having to be at work by 8 o'clock was going to be a struggle, especially when our child, he was in middle school. When he got to middle school, didn't have to be at school until 8:45, and so that was going to be an issue. And the school discouraged parents from dropping their children off at school before 8 o'clock. So if I had to be at work by 8 o'clock, then and my husband had to be at work by 8:30, how are we going to do that? So that was, we were going to try and do it and maybe get like a care.com sitter or someone to help us out in the mornings, but it was just going to be too much of a struggle. And then an added expense as well. Let's see. So I keep clicking on things that I should not, on arrows that I should not click on. Others, rigid job titles. And I don't know necessarily how much I agree with this one, but the article says that corporate hierarchies that uphold rigid titles are often seen as outdated by millennials and Gen Zers. Instead, they value inclusive, creative titles that celebrate collaboration over hierarchy, and this approach emphasizes contributions rather than status. Job descriptions designed in modern language also create a welcoming environment for diverse candidates. And something that's related to that with my current job, which I really really enjoy, is you can imagine working in academia. Even though I work in the system office and not on a college or university campus, um, I work around a lot of PhDs, a lot of doctoral candidates, and a lot of people who have obtained their PhDs or their doctorate in some field. But the majority of them, they don't want us to call them Doctor so and so. Even our chancellor, who is a veterinarian by training, he wants us to call him Sonny, and he will answer the chancellor or what have you, but he wants us to call him Sonny. He doesn't. uh, that title does not bother him. And guess what? That's because these people are secure in who they are. They know what they've achieved. They know what the effort they had to put forth in order to achieve those milestones and goals. But they're not worried about someone else's acknowledgement of them to give them self value or self worth. So I think that's awesome. Forced team building activities. I think team building activities can be fun, and I think people would be more open to team building activities if management was more thoughtful in the types of activities that they select for their teams to participate in. So I must say that as a Gen Xer, I actually like a lot of the team building activities that I have had to participate in because excuse me, because they were thoughtfully selected. So just know that millennials and Gen Zers, not so much for the team building activities. Long, unproductive meetings. Oh my God. Now, this is something that I truly, truly, truly do not like. Meeting for the sake of meeting, or like my team and I like to say, meeting after the meeting, about the meeting. Everything does not require a meeting. Some things can be communicated via email and not tying up people's schedules with an official meeting. And the other thing is people having to have their cameras on. Um, I'm like, okay, what about before COVID when we were picking up the phone? I mean, we literally had voice over IP phones on our desk before, immediately before COVID. Now we use Teams because we have Microsoft Office suite at work for work, but I just think it's kind of a sign of control when you think that when you're requiring as the meeting organizer or facilitator that people have their cameras on. But maybe that's just me. Oh no, evidently not, because millennials and Gen Zers don't like meetings either, or long, unproductive meetings. And I don't like meetings where we're just listening to each other breathe. If you know that you don't have anything or you have a recurring meeting, make it a habit of reaching out and asking who has agenda items, so that you know if it's even necessary to meet. So I'm going to put that soapbox back in the closet. Next are ignoring health and wellness. And this is so important. Um, you need to pay very close attention to your health and wellness. I've become much more aware and make myself get up and walk around more often, not only when I'm at home, but also when I'm at work, because I found myself sitting at the desk, only getting up to go to the restroom or to pop by someone's office. If I had an in-person meeting, I had a quick question or what have you, and then I could sit down basically all day at home, run to the restroom, come right back, and working in my home office, and that is not healthy. So make sure you not ignore your health and wellness. Get your annual checkups, get those follow-up appointments, go to them like your doctor advises, to make sure that you have a long, healthy, quality life that you can enjoy after you've worked all these years on a job or committed yourself to your entrepreneurial adventures or pursuits. Next, workplace hierarchies. And I won't go into that anymore. And I apologize. You all are going to hear our dog. She tries to lick every little bit of her food out of her bowl because we mix a little wet food with her dry food, and she loves it. So she licks that bowl until she has it squeaky clean. Um, Workplace hierarchies are another workplace rule that millennials and Gen Zers do not follow. And so I talked about that earlier about the people who I work with. Many of them hold PhDs or doctorate degrees in their field of expertise, and they want you to call them by their first name. If their name is Cynthia, they want you to call them Cynthia. None of them typically, well, I'll say I haven't run across any of them that require us to refer to them as Dr. So and so. And if you do, they'll say, oh, no, it's Cynthia, or no, it's David, or it's James. So I greatly appreciate that. Traditional benefits and perks. Yes, we want the traditional benefits and perks, and so do the millennials and the Gen Zers. But they also want additional benefits and perks that include like health insurance and some others. So the article says that standard benefits are no longer enough to attract and retain top talent. Today's workforce values perks that are practical, innovative, and tailored to their needs. According to Glassdoor, and the article references Glassdoor, over 50% of job seekers consider flexible work arrangements, loan repayment assistance, and mental health support as deal breakers when evaluating job offers. And we've seen that in as a human resources professional who does recruiting. Oh man, that time off accrual, the retirement plan, and the rate that the retirement plan invests on our behalf, as well as like the loan repayment. Like for we don't have the loan repayment, but because we're a public sector organization, you can use your time worked as one of the meeting one of the requirements for the student loan forgiveness program. And then we have more flexible work arrangements since we return to the office on hybrid work schedules, and that has attracted a lot of people as well. And then, of course, we do have mental health support. A lot of us in human resources have completed mental health first aid, and then a we have an employee EAP program and mental health components built into the core medical benefits as well. So I think we're not doing too bad, and we also offer pet insurance, and we have a program too where employees can purchase big ticket items like for their household, like appliances and things like the washing machine goes out. You can purchase yourself a washer or a dryer, um, and then the payments are split up over 12 months and are directly payroll deducted. So if a person has credit challenges or what have you, then that keeps them from going without that essential appliance or what have you, because they can take advantage of the program. Let's see. Next is a disregard for community connection. And this is something that I think is just so important for companies to engage in community connections. Something that I would like to get involved in at work, and hopefully we can do it next year, is the United Way Shoebox Project, where we put together we use shoe boxes to put together gift boxes or care packages for people who are homeless and don't have ready access to personal care items like, socks and toothbrushes, toothpaste, washcloths, lotion, Vaseline, different things like that. And I just think it's such a worthwhile cause. And then there's the Neighborhood of Good through Allstate Insurance, where you can participate in community service activities. One thing that my organization does too is because we are an academic higher education organization, is we got 8 hours of what we call educational leave each year, each calendar year, where we can go and we can participate in job fairs and at any educational institution within the state of Georgia. And so we can participate in job fairs. We can't even use it for attending family members or friends' graduations from any institution here in the state of Georgia. But a lot of people use theirs for going on career fair day, going to parent teacher meetings, and international celebrations of culture at their children's school. And it's just a neat way to stay connected with our community. Then there's the annual feedback cycle or performance evaluation. Millennials and Gen Zers believe in ongoing feedback, not the stressful annual performance evaluation. And so a lot, and maybe I shouldn't say a lot because I can't prove that, but I will say that I get a lot of information regarding annual or ongoing feedback instead of the annual feedback cycle, because one of the issues that I see with the annual performance evaluation is that being in human resources, no matter how much we tell managers, don't let a person's performance evaluation be a surprise. Sometimes it is, because sometimes the manager does not address performance and behavior issues when they occur or right after they occur. And so that's why that ongoing feedback is so important. So a person isn't blindsided by something that they did that was unacceptable per the understood culture of the organization or the policies. They know that it happened, and during that ongoing feedback, you as the manager should also provide them with recommendations on how to correct that faux pas, if you will. Unnecessary work travel, and as I said, I was not one who opted for the work travel early in my career, and definitely don't want it now. But Gen Zers and Millennials evidently don't want the unnecessary work travel. So I get that's a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought they would love it because, as I said earlier, you get to see different places on the company's dime. And that's one of the things that my brother likes about his job. Even though he travels and he works hard, he gets to travel to different places and get to expense the trip because it's a work trip. But he's not working typically all day long. So in the evening, he gets to go try out different restaurants. Now he's away from his wife and from his daughters, 20-something-year-old daughters, but still he gets to go to those places, and sometimes his wife will get to travel with him, which is good as well if she can take the time off from work. So that's good as well. But millennials and Gen Zers say no to the unnecessary work travel. Let's see. Lacks sustainability practices. So evidently, Gen Zers and Millennials are into sustainability, and as the article says, sustainability is no longer a fringe concern. It's a critical expectation from employees. And I want to tell you personally, sustainability is important to me. My family hates it because I require us to recycle, but I just think it's so important. So customers also expect strong sustainability or robust sustainability practices, and so do investors in a lot of cases. So as ecological awareness grows, like the article says, businesses are expected to take meaningful actions to reduce their environmental impact, that carbon footprint. So keep that in mind as you court millennials and Gen Zers for your available career opportunities. So I let's see, have we gotten to the end of it? Yeah, I think that we have. Oh no, we haven't gotten to the end. Um, let's see. Yeah, so that's the end of our list, guys. I hope that you found value in these outdated or these workplace practices or rules that millennials and Gen Zers and some of we Gen Xers as well think are outdated. If you have found value here, I would ask you to please click on the like button. Let the algorithm know that others need to receive this valuable content. Also, share it with other people who are on their journey to living their best career life, because that is my goal, to help you live your best career life. Then also subscribe to the HR by Nnamtique fold when you feel comfortable. I would love to have you to be a member. And also, if you would like to work with me more closely, refer to the information in the description, or if you're reading the written version, then check out below after the end of the article. I'll have all of that information there. I would love to help you in any way that I can, either through a workplace resolution consultation or a career search consultation. And I'd also love for you to join me during a different for future videos, or check out some of my past ones. I have some absolutely awesome gems there that provide you with some great career and job search advice and information on human resources topics that are of interest to people in the workplace today. Until next time, I wish you career success. Happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays. Be safe, be happy, enjoy valuable time, special time with family and friends celebrating. And I'll look forward to seeing you at next Friday's Friday Morning Live at 7 a.m. right here on YouTube. Bye-bye.